Hello, my name is Alan Stagg, and today I would like to show you how you can do your own home irrigation repair. The other day I went outside, I had my irrigation system running, and I had a leak. I had a flood in my yard. So the first thing I did was I shut down my irrigation system to take the pressure out of the system, and I dug a hole where the water was, and I excavated that whole area until I could see what the problem was. And once I saw that there was a fracture in a pipe, I went to my home improvement store, went to the plumbing aisle, and I purchased a new section of PVC pipe, and this is Schedule 40. I'll explain that in a minute. I purchased a PVC cutting tool, PVC primer, PVC cement, and 2 couplings. All of the material that I purchased only cost $25. Instead, I could have called an irrigation contractor, and in my area they charge $80 an hour, and they require a 2-hour minimum. $160 versus $25, and at the end of the job I'll have the satisfaction of knowing that I can do my own home irrigation repair, and I'll own some of the tools in case I happen to have another fracture. This is a ratcheting tool, PVC cutting tool. You need to be careful because this is an actual razor blade. You can cut this with a saw, but you'll wind up with little burrs which could fall into your irrigation system and clog. Instead, I use a PVC cutting tool because I'll wind up with a factory cut edge. I drew a little picture of a fracture here so you can see the section I'm cutting out. And all that I did was I reached down into that hole with my PVC cutting tool. Very carefully, I sliced through the fracture on either end. I removed the defective section, and now I have this gap, and that's the gap that I need to fill. I measured the section I excavated, and I came up with 3 1/4 inches. Now I got my Schedule 40 pipe. Schedule 40 is required by code, and this is the section that is under very high pressure. PVC pipe is very inexpensive. This section that I purchased only cost me $1.28. I could have purchased the Schedule 20, which is much thinner wall and will require so much less pressure. However, I decided for it to be so inexpensive, why not get the better? So I'll measure out 3 1/4 inches. I'll make my mark. And I'll now cut out that section, the replacement section of a good section of PVC pipe. PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. So now what I have is a good section, and I have to bridge the gap from the piece that I removed. And for that, I'll be using these 2 unions, or couplings. So this is what it will look like once I complete the assembly. Now I need to use the PVC primer. The purpose of the primer is to soften the glaze on the outside of the pipe so that it'll solvent well on the inside of each of the unions. This technique is actually called solvent welding, and it's a 2-step process. The PVC primer is purple primer, and the reason why they have it is purple so that the building inspector, if he wanted to take a look, he could see the spill, and this will be a spill because this is very thin liquid. He'll be able to see that the purple was actually used and not just the cement. This is also a cleaner. They no longer call it cleaner because people would just take a rag and wipe it clean and think that they were done. Now they changed the name to primer, and they put the color in so that people will now know that there is a difference. And what it is actually doing, it is softening that factory glaze so that when I immediately follow with the cement, that this will become very malleable and will be a new section. All of this will soon become one PVC pipe. As I mentioned, this is very thin, very drippy, so I have to be very careful. I'm going to liberally coat every surface with the purple primer. inside and out of each of the unions, couplings. the new piece which I purchased. This is very easy to use. And now this is getting very soft. I'll set this aside. I don't need any drying time at all from the primer to the PVC cement. I can immediately go onto the PVC cement now, and this is clear. What I'll do is I'll liberally coat right over top of the primer. You do have to work quickly. However, I do have enough time for these pieces on this video to coat all of them all at one time. But you do have to move quickly. This PVC solvent welding will actually only take about 2 minutes for this to dry. However, it does have to cure. This will take about 2 hours before I would want to put any pressure on the system. And all I simply do is I attach the union, and you do want to twist it so it gets a nice tight seal. These pieces have actually melted together. Chemically, they have been melted. Of course, I had to do this in the hole, and it's much easier for me to do this on video, but you can see how simple it is. You too can also see how you can do your own home repair. You can save yourself, I saved myself $145 by doing this repair myself, and I got the satisfaction of knowing that I can do my own home repair. Now, is there anyone who has any questions? Please feel very free or comfortable after this video to come to me and ask how you can do your own home repair as well. Thank you very much for your time today.